So they decided to bat first and they made hay while the sun shone, and it shone very, very warmly indeed. Maybe even warmth isn't the right way to put it. It was hot out there in Mumbai. It is at this time of year, and certainly you could see the fielding side were feeling it. How much did Lucknow finally put on the board after being only the third team in the season to decide to bat first? All three, of course, coming in the afternoon. 195 for three. That's going to be a tall order for Delhi when they come out, led once again by their captain, Lokesh Rahul, 77 of 51 deliveries. And their number three, Deepak Hooda, 52 of 34, who had a chat at the end and said, well, looks like a good pitch. Slower ball tends to be holding up. So his bowlers will be well aware of that. Here on Cricbuzz Live, I'm joined by our international panel, Michael Vaughan, Lisa Sthalekar. Michael, first up, 195 is certainly something they would have taken at the start of the innings when the coin went down in their favour.
Yeah, and well done to you for getting your prediction right. Yeah, that was good guessing. Yeah, the pitch is good. KL played great. I thought Quinton at the start just gave them that early momentum. Deepak Hooda played with great clarity, some beautiful strokes. It's funny when a team gets 195 and you feel that they could have got 210. It just didn't quite, Stoyne came out there and just didn't quite get his range and his kind of timing straight away. But they'll be delighted with 195. As Deepak's just said, the ball is just gripping in the surface somewhat. So they'll be confident of defending that. But I do feel that they could have got another 15 more.
Yeah, well, interesting that Michael should mention Marcus Stoinis, Lisa. I mean, we kept calling him the Hulk and walking in there. It's like the Hulk walks into the gym and then sits down to play a game of chess.
Yeah, he's finding it a little bit harder than what we probably all thought he would. I mean, the first time he kind of played this season, he went ballistic. That 34 off a handful of delivery, he thought, great, he's going to be this impact player. But since then, it's been a struggle. And you felt that he thought, let me give myself a bit more time. Maybe then I can start to explode. So they still haven't been able to get the best out of him. And that's probably the difference in leaving probably 15 to 20 runs still left in the sheds.
Well, we were all wondering about that number 3 slot, and Stoinis was perhaps a candidate for it. But because there's no Manish Pandey, Michael, they've gone and given that to Deepak Hooda, who at the end of the innings said he's delighted. That's what he sort of does very often for his state team, and he'll take it any day.
Yeah, nice strike rate of 152. Yeah, he played with great skill. He has nice balance. It's the best time to bat. When you're going at the top there and, the ball's still relatively hard and, you're putting pressure on the bowlers early. You've got KL Rahul batting beautifully at the other end, so he's always scoring and putting pressures on the bowlers. I still feel Stoinis could play that role equally as well, if not a little bit better, but that's the decision that they've gone for. Yeah, they're a good, that top three, when they play like that, they're hard to bowl to. I mean, KL is just, he's such a good player. He's just pure. Everything about the way that he plays, he just makes it look nice on the eye. He's just a good player to watch. The way that he opens that blade to open up those offside boundary options. We're not talking for fours. The way he can get his wrists and his timing, and he opens the blade to get those sixes square of the wicket and down to third. It's remarkable. And then he gets that reverse sweep out. He's a brilliant player. I put it on Twitter. I just think kids should just follow the way that he plays, because his game just transcends across all the format. He doesn't have to change a great deal, and he's very, very consistent with it.
The other thing as well is he's been able to kind of unlock the secret of building towards an innings. He's not going hell for leather at the start. We'd spoken the pre-show about his strike rates, a question mark in previous editions. At one stage, I think he was 26 off 26. And then he's able just to go through the gears brilliantly. And it feels like he's never taking too big a risk, because he's already got used to the condition of the pitch. He knows what's coming from a bowling perspective, and he just mathematically gets it absolutely perfect to go, right, this is the time for me to flick the switch and go to another gear. And that's why we're seeing the strike rate, the average, and the pile of runs again. So he's been able to combat all three, I reckon, this season.
What probably helped, Michael, I mean, yes, he finished off beautifully overall, but the fact that Lisa alluded to the 26 of 26, he didn't mind being that way with Quinton de Kock starting well, Deepak Hooda coming out and basically going from ball one. So he would be able to tell himself, well, I can bat through now.
Yeah, well, he's smart. I think he plays the team game. You know, what do the team require him to do at that particular moment? When Quinton's going, it's to give Quinton the strike. Deepak came in and he was striking it. You just give him the strike. When Stoinis came out there, his role actually was to give KL the strike. And he just wasn't skillful enough. So that's the one area of Marcus Stoinis' game that I've been staggered that he's not improved over the years, and that's the use of breaking the wrists. As soon as you go out there against spin, with all the field spread, and fielders don't come in tight to Stoinis because he hits it so hard. They always go 2 or 3 yards deeper, yet he still hits them. He has to be better at just breaking the wrists and getting off strike when it's not there to strike it to the boundary. But they're a team that play with smartness, and that comes from the captain. He just reads the situation, he knows what is required at that stage, and consistently delivers it.
That third Kuldeep Yadav over was the perfect illustration of what Michael Vaughan's referring to, because we were not sure how Rishabh Pant would use Kuldeep Yadav, having gone for 26. He brought him back when Stoinis was in. Rahul single first ball, and Stoinis is not able to either hit the boundaries or give it back to Rahul, Lisa.
Yeah, and Michael touched on that. There's always been a question mark against spin. Another Australian player that stands out is like a Chris Lynn as well. He was found out in the IPL not being able to face spin bowlers, which is you're coming up against the best, not only the best internationally, but the best across India. And they're so good at their craft that you've got to find a way just to get up the other end. The matchup may not be right, but you've just got to be up the other end and let the other guy have a go.
But if you have a look at the bowling, it was dominated by one man who, again, at the start, we sort of said, has he done enough for Delhi as he did when he was wearing the yellow jersey, Michael? And I think Shardul will probably pick up the phone if he was watching and say, have a look at those figures. I think I'm doing the job, Michael.
Yeah, well, it's those wickets. You know, getting wickets is the key. He goes at tens, but he bowls, the hard overs, so his economy is always going to be quite high. He had a decent day out. I mean, the rest of the bowling, but it was okay. I mean, I just think it's a good pitch. It's hot conditions. There's not a great deal there. There's no swing. The odd ball's just cripping in the surface, but it looks a pure batting wicket. It looks like a batter's dream. And, when you're on those occasions, you get hit for 195, and I think Delhi would have walked off there going, I think we've done all right. It could have been 210, 220. They'd have liked 180, but I don't think this kind of target is out of the reach of Delhi chasing it down, because it's such a good pitch and it's boiling hot. It only takes one player to get in and someone else to hang around, or a couple of cameos, and they'll get close to this target.
Yeah, that one over, Lisa, can make such a difference. Yesterday, we saw Ritik Shokeen given an extra over, 4 sixes from Butler. Mitchell, given that one over, goes for 20. Had that Kuldeep Yadav over gone according to plan for Lucknow, it would have been 210, 215.
Yeah, but I'm glad that also Rishabh gave him the opportunity to come back. I mean, you look at how Delhi have gone so far in the tournament, and every time they've won, Kuldeep Yadav is player of the match. So, yeah, you can have days where the pitch doesn't give you a lot, a batter is in absolute form, but give him another chance to be able to fight back. And that's probably the difference I've seen, that Delhi, how they've treated him. And I think that's how they've got the best out of him.
And body language wise, Michael, at no point, even when he was 2-0, 26-0, he didn't sort of walk away with his head bowed, which he would have done perhaps with Kolkata at one point in time. He was like, okay, bad over. I know when I'm getting it next. Where do you need me to field, skipper? Okay, I'll be there.
Well, one thing's for sure in T20 cricket, you're not going to have it all your own way all the time. So you've got to have that kind of mindset. There's something about Kuldeep Yadav that he always seems to be the talking point. Everyone seems to want to always talk about him. He's such a high-class player. Left arm leg spin is just such a great art to have in your side when you get it right. He's having a great time of it. Today, I wouldn't say he bowled badly. He just got on a good pitch. But you can see that he's still confident. He's still landing it in the right zone. He's not bowling pies. He's not bowling really bad deliveries when he's getting hit. The batter's playing good shots. And that's all you can ask in T20 cricket, is to try and make the batters play a big, good shot. And if they do, I'm afraid now and again, you've just got to don your cap and say, well played. I thought he bowled okay. I mean, he only bowled 3 overs again. It's clearly in his contract that he only bowls 3.
Well, the fact is,
pay
we're
him a
talking
bit more
about.
for 4 overs.
No, it's too much if he bowls 4. They've had to knock him back a few quid, so he's on a bowling 3.
Well, the fact is, no matter what, even if it's 3 wickets or 4 wickets or 3 overs, none for 29, we're talking about him on the show. So he is a talking point, come what may. But the bowlers from the opposition, Deepak Hooda will have gone and had a word, as will KL Rahul. He said at the interview that the slower balls are stopping a little bit. So maybe that's the one weapon they can look at, because yes, it's a big total, but in the heat, it can be a very gettable total as well, Lisa.
Yeah, any learnings that they can take out of the first innings and put into play from a bowling perspective, just to be able to defend this total, they'll take. I mean, we even saw yesterday's afternoon game, balls being bowled into the pitch, just biting a little bit more, kicking off the surface, made it a little bit harder to hit through the line. So they'll be hoping for something very similar, which means will we see Deepak Hooda roll and bowl an over? Badoni as well. So you've got a few options.
Yeah, Badoni, Deepak Hooda, Krunal Pandya, and of course the leg spin of Ravi Bishnoi. So plenty of options, Michael. I guess. I haven't even mentioned KG. They've got KG into the side and Krishnappa Gautam. So I guess we got probably leaning towards the slower stuff, Michael.
Yeah, slower balls, and also the likes of Holder, Stoinis to bowl. Their variations. They've got plenty of different kind of deliveries, slower balls, cutters. So you would think that's the way KL will go with his tactics. He'll be saying, don't put too much in terms of pace on the ball. Try and bowl plenty of variations, cutters, and be unpredictable. On a pitch like this, if you're predictable over the course of an over, you'll get got. A batter will just line you and go, thank you, I'll back myself to hit 2 out the ground on any given over on a pitch like this. So you've got to be unpredictable, keep varying your pace, and field well. If they field well, and take the chances. I think Delhi were a little bit off in the field, not quite up to scratch. If Lucknow come out and field well and take pace off, I think it will just be enough. But I think we're in for a nipper.
All right,
one thing I was going to say is KL Rahul actually going to use Stoinis? That's the thing. He's hardly really bowled any overs. He's kind of protected as well. Sometimes they're worried about him breaking down. I think he has to start to contribute with the ball in hand. So I don't know if today's the day, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, at least generally all-rounders, when they're not getting all the runs, they generally want to have a bowler as well, just to clarify that they're an absolute...
They're still good.
Yeah, still the gun in the side. It's amazing. When they're getting runs, they very rarely come knocking for a ball. But when they don't get so many runs, they always go, I'll have a ball.
Well, I was going to apply the opposite logic, that Deepak Hooda's got runs and he'll say, Skip, can I have the ball, please? And Stoin is hiding somewhere.
He won't hide.
All right, fair enough. We will apply that Michael Vaughan logic to it to see that hasn't done it with bat. Could he do it with the ball? But it's going to be critical for David Warner and Prithvi Shaw. I can see which way Michael's leading, maybe just about enough, but a close game. Lisa, do you think Warner, Shaw, Rovman's found some form, a bit from the middle order? Can Delhi do it?
Yeah, first 6 will be a deciding factor. So maybe the com box, I'll let you know where I'm swaying.
All right, fair enough. We'll give you a few overs. So there you have it.
I'd like 10. Got them 10. Thanks.
10. That's fine. 10 overs. Michael's taking his call right now. Yeah, it's a lot of runs on the board. Afternoon game. You feel Delhi need these points desperately, because if they don't get it, as we mentioned at the very start, it's going to be an uphill climb to try and pretty much win every single game to be in that 3rd, 4th kind of qualifying spot. All up to Prithvi Shaw, David Warner and company. We'll see you in the 10th over on Cricbuzz Combox as we build up not just to the end of this game, but to the start of the return of MSD. That's all on Cricbuzz Live.